am associated with the Women's Studies Research Center of MS University Baroda, which is the only center of women's studies in the state of Gujarat, and it is a multidisciplinary center, and therefore we have colleagues from all the different departments who come and participate and avail our library facilities and other things. I would like to mention today two things, that what are the major activities which we are doing at the center. The major areas of our work are teaching and training, research and documentation. These are the main areas. In teaching and training, what we do is that we have one orientation course in women's studies which is interdisciplinary in nature, which is taken by PhD students or MPhil students or some young colleagues who want to really get into this field, and it is offered once a year. It is about 3 months, 4 credit course. Then we have conducted from time to time some workshops which are based on research methodology for women's studies and how to conduct participatory action research. This is especially for the NGOs. We conduct many gender sensitization short term workshops, like 2 days, 3 days, 5 days for different groups, and that I will be talking little later. The other thing is the documentation activities. Our documentation center is really our pride, and it is one of our strengths. I would say that we have more than 3,000 books, and people not only from the state but from outside the state also come to refer to our documentation center, and we subscribe about 25 journals, and currently we are in the process of computerizing the library, and then it will be on the website and it will be available to all the people. Besides this, we regularly publish 2 newsletters every year on different themes of contemporary relevance. We are currently involved in preparing a booklet which will be a compilation of women in unconventional professions and women who have struggled a lot, about 25 or so such bio sketch we will be preparing, and that will be published. This was a suggestion from one of the school teachers, and we thought it was very good. She had a feeling that the students do not have any role models, and the role models which are available in the literature are very age old, and therefore some of contemporary relevance we should have. The research activities are many, I would say. One thing what we are doing, that whatever research funds which we are getting from UGC, we are not utilizing all of them just at the center, but we encourage other colleagues from other departments to take up small projects, and we give them some sort of seed money. If they like to develop further, then they may apply for other grants, but this experiment has been very successful, and we have got a variety of themes as far as research is concerned. Reproductive health, socio-economic aspects, differently abled women, aging and women in literature. Our major publications based on research, one is Girl, Child and the Family, which was supported by Ministry of Human Resource Development long back, that was in 93-94 we have published it. Then Women Household Developments and Information Center we had. Then Women's Health Training Research and Advocacy Center, which we have we already have, which is funded by Ford Foundation. And 2 years back we prepared a profile of women in Gujarat, and again we have updated it, and we are going to publish it shortly, which encompasses all the different aspects concerning women in Gujarat, like demographic profile, then there is health and nutrition, socio-economic aspects, policies and programs for women, women in households and families, and various other topics. Currently we have undertaken a few research projects. One of them was on eve teasing on the campus. The other one is about mental health with a specific focus on depression in aging women, which is funded by one of the international agencies. The third one is women of age, where 5 departments of home science and social work as well as economics department are involved, and we are looking at the status of older women from different angles, and then some intervention strategies would be planned. The recent project which has come from Oxfam, and that is on domestic violence and sexual harassment at workplace. I would like to share here with you that though MS University has a big name and is really doing lot of work, however, we do not have the committee for sexual harassment, which is mandatory now according to the law, and therefore I am in the process of convincing the Vice Chancellor. He has agreed in principle, and he has got a very good suggestion. He says, why we want to call it sexual harassment, why can't we call it gender sensitization committee, and I think that will serve even more promotive aspects of this, and it will be much better. So we are in the process of having one committee. I had conducted one research on sexuality education, which has many components related to gender, and we have published under that various things. One is this booklet on adolescence, which we have distributed in schools, and this research was actually to find out what sort of knowledge adolescent boys and girls have about sexuality, and what we need to give as further input. In this project we included parents, what are their views about it, because we need their support and cooperation in imparting sexuality education, as well as the teachers, because what knowledge do teachers have and how do they deal with this course, these issues in the school. And we found to our surprise that in the course of biology, where there are reproductive aspects are mentioned, teachers generally say that please read it on your own, and they do not give, because they feel very embarrassed and self-conscious. So keeping all that in mind, we have prepared this one booklet, plus we have prepared a video that deals with negative and positive aspects of sex education as far as parents and as far as teachers are concerned, that how generally we avoid this and how it should be done. So 15 minutes for parents and 15 minutes for teachers, that how they can deal with this subject. We have also prepared 3 sets of slides on related areas along with the audio cassette. All this was done in a very different way. Since we are a part of the university, we had students participating in workshops to prepare all these messages and prepare the visuals also. So we had students from fine arts, we had students from performing arts, from journalism and communication, and from some other social sciences, and therefore it became a very good exercise for school teachers, with the idea that they are the main socializing agents besides parents, outside the family. So they should be sensitized as far as these issues are concerned. Then we also had another program for nurses, because gender sensitivity in nursing profession, how it is important and how they could be more sensitive towards that. Then we had one gender sensitization for students from Faculty of Journalism and Communication, because we thought they should look at gender in electronic and print media. Then we are involved in police training to take a few sessions about sensitizing them about women as victims and offenders of law. And recently we conducted 2 workshops for adolescents who will act as leaders in their peer group for how they will be looking at the gender little differently now than what they have looked. Here I would like to quote 1 or 2 examples of exercise. One exercise which we gave to them was, how many of you would like to change your sex? How many boys would like to become girls and girls would like to become boys, and why? And very interesting responses came. From this workshop we found out that boys did not want to change their sex because they thought it will be a drudgery to undertake household work, and girls wanted to change their sex because they thought that this will be too much for them all the time, cooking and housework and other things. So I just want to draw your attention that times are changing, and we need to keep in mind that interchangeability of roles is very, very important, that both can do both, men as well as women. And one boy, very interestingly, he said that I would like to become a woman because I want to see how it feels to give birth to a child. 7th standard boy. Okay, so I mean, we underestimate them many times, that what are their views and whether they have thought about it, but this exercise were really eye opening. We learnt a lot from this, and when we asked them to mention the tasks which they are doing, girls were undertaking about 14 different things related to housework, and boys were undertaking about 4 to 5. This was a lower middle class families. And then we had some workshops for older women to empower them through knowledge of their rights and to make them aware about their contributions to family and society. See, older women think that they are dependent. We are making them feel like that you are completely dependent and you are recipient of the care, but they are also providers of the care, which we cannot forget. And we wanted to empower them by bringing this to their notice, that how much they are contributing in the household. In all my studies on older women, especially in USA and Canada, I found that there also our Indian women, they never think that they are contributing. And in one interview, I remember that I asked the daughter-in-law that, is your mother-in-law a contributing member in the family? And she said no. And then I asked her that if she was not here, would you be placing your child in a daycare? So she said yes. How much would you be paying? $500. Okay. So do you think that she's, I mean, we never consider in in terms of monetary aspects, which is fine, but then we can't even take them for granted that they are there and they better look after our children, they have nothing else to do. Because I have come across grandmothers who say that I have raised my children, I don't want to undertake any more responsibility, now I want to do what I have never been able to do earlier. So I think we should appreciate that, and this is very important. Within the broad theme of gender sensitization, I think we would like to focus on family. In that, the sub themes could be sensitization packages about combating family violence, propagating interchangeability of roles at all different levels, like children, adults, older people, then father's participation in the family, which has a more positive outlook and acceptance, and some of my colleagues are working in this area, and so we do not have to do research, but we already have research findings and we can prepare the packages on the basis of this. Plus there is some knowledge and research evidence as far as women in difficult circumstances are concerned. So that could be the second topic, like sex workers, women in prisons, victims of riots and earthquake. So all this information and research is available, and we can really prepare on the basis of this. Thank you.